Friday the 28th, 2020, and I'm here to show what still needs to be done in the kitchen. I believe I'm in disagreement with Artique Construction Garreton Smith. He says things are complete, but as you can see here, he may have done it, but it is not done. He may have done the work, but it's certainly not complete. And I have to now redo his work because the workmanship that has been done is substandard. For example, let's turn on the lights here. Let's start with electrical in this kitchen. The electrical in the kitchen here was not grounded at all. And as many professional electricians would say, it's better to have no power than to not have grounded outlets. Also, there was not a ground in the panel. So these are some big system issues. But going into the carpentry, demo was done by Artique Construction Garreton Smith, and you can see here that there's something weird about the cabinets. They're not even. There's a big gap here between the cabinet, and it's because the soffits are not even. So the setup wasn't done correctly, and as anyone in the kitchen and bathroom remodeling business, the ceiling where you're going to hang the cabinets is really imperative to be level, so that the cabinets can basically be uniform, and there's no uniformity here. Also, this is another issue that in talks with other contractors is like, why didn't they put this unit in? So now there has to be tape and compound to fix that. It's not going to look as flush as it should be. So this is issue number one in terms of this kitchen, is that the soffits were in the beginning when we did the demo, when Garreton Smith and Artique Construction and their crews did the demo, they did not care to even level the soffits, and that's why we have a lot of issues with the cabinets. The install of the stone, the seams are just terrible. This is very shoddy workmanship. And I remember asking the carpenter who did this, his nickname's Eddie, but his name is Neri Suarez. I asked him, how is he going to remove this? He says he's going to use sandpaper. And you don't use sandpaper. There's a specific machine to buff this out. And so what I'm doing is that I'm going to be hiring the vendor to install, and also he didn't install the sink, to as best they can redo and buff out this and redo the seams, and to also install the sink. I found out from, just from other contractors that typically the vendor that sells you the stone is the same person that is the best person to come and install the sink and to do the seams. Plumbers will not touch this. Professional plumbers, I should say, professional plumbers and carpenters will not do this work, because if it's not done correctly, if the stone breaks, they are essentially liable for replacing the entire slab. And this slab is not cheap. It's a close to a $2,800 slab to do all this. Also, I want to point out some workmanship issues. Again, with the demo, they did not level the soffits, and they did not level the walls. You can see this gap. Like, look at this gap. It goes from really small to bigger and bigger and bigger, and wow, it's like you could put so much in there. So you see this, it's just not even. You see all the shims that are used, because this is not, the measurement is off. And I literally saw Eddie cut this stone, and that didn't make any sense to me. Why would you need to cut the stone if you measured correctly? So there's issues here. The issues of workmanship of not being level, and linked to that is that there's also issues with measurement, which is why there's problems. Seams. And again, with the measurement issue, you could see it's not flush. All this, and here, it's a gap. It should be up to basically flush. So this is just one of many things. The electrician today installed a new outlet here, and the purpose of this outlet is because of code. Within every so many feet, there needs to be an outlet. So he installed these outlets, this new outlet right here. Also, the floor is not level. You could see the shims here. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. Look how wide. It's almost like over half an inch, close to an inch wide to that end right there. This is Artique construction. This is why I disagree that he says this is complete or almost complete. It's not almost complete. It needs to be redone. And here, again, cut this. You need to cut. You also need to cut this as well. So these are the facts. The facts are that the workmanship that was spoken of, that was implied, that's standard, is not even complete. But most importantly is the electrical. This needed redone. They had this big awkward box here with the switch done by the electrician. That's really a no-no. My new electrician is going to put it within the cabinet so it's flush, the switch for the disposal. And I would say that was the first time in my life that I actually saw something this humongous. I mean, this is something like this with a switch right here. And with that, it's like that's just too awkward. That's not professional. So this is why there's problems. And also with the paint texture job, this, you need to do the baseboards. And I also need to double check to make sure the fire alarm is all running in a loop. I don't think it is. It's supposed to be. That was the scope for the install. But most importantly, in terms of this kitchen, the number one issue here is the outlets, the electrical. It was done illegally. And that is why that's why I stopped working with Garreton, Smith, and Artique. Once I realized that the electrical was illegally done and not safe. I literally saw sparks come out of this outlet because the wires they did it too short. And so sparks came out, it had to get redone. I saw the electrician redo it. I actually have that videotaped as well. There's just a whole lot of issues. And so that gives me no confidence in first, the work ever being completed, because even if Garreton Smith and Artique Construction was to complete the work, it would need rework, as I'm already experiencing right now. And second, what's more important is that the work he does is illegal. I mean, it's literally, it's not safe for people. It's going to be, without the ground, not having grounded outlets, that's a big no-no. I mean, that is the cause of electrical fires. And with all the little things, including things in the panel and having bunched up too many cables and so forth, it's all these little things that come together that create the problem. It's usually not just one thing. It's usually a combination of things. It's usually the conditions. And I hate the fact that I'm upset. I'm upset that Garreton Smith is not knowledgeable enough to actually sell these types of services, because he's putting people's lives in danger, essentially. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal. It's not worth it. That's why I'm saying none of his work is complete, because of the electrical. The electrical is first and foremost, is in every room. And if nothing's grounded, nothing's done properly, there's a problem. There's a major problem. And so that is why I'm really upset. I'm really upset. Also, I want to point out that there was a charge for electrical outlets that he said they're new. There was no, that is completely false. There was electrical done here by another electrician many years ago that was done by a different electrician, not by Garreton Smith, that was done properly. My current electrician can confirm this, can confirm this under oath. So this is true. So I don't know why he's trying to charge me for work that he did not do. Since we're already next to the back patio, this is not complete. If you want to talk about completeness, this has not been caulked. Look at all this. This has not been caulked properly. This was supposed to be to the likeness of the prior siding, the prior outlet cover. It had a frame around it, because you could see this is not an even surface because of the siding. It had a frame around it to compensate for the depth, and it made it to enable this outlet cover to be flush. But then again, my electrician has not seen this yet. He's going to check this. I'm pretty sure it's not grounded. I'm pretty sure he's going to find issues, and those issues are going to be safety hazards for, anyone that's, that my family or anyone in the future that decides to live in this home. This is not painted. And speaking of, shoddy work or just incomplete work, this is really weak. They didn't bother to put some, cement or some type of material under this to help it have a little more weight. I hate to say it, but my prior door frame is stronger. I did not, you were supposed to make it to the likeness of the prior. You're just updating the look, and they didn't do that. This is really weak here. It's gonna put we're gonna put some cement here. Again, the purpose of this is to show the rework that's done, so therefore this work is not complete. And just again, just the work that's being done is just the cuts. If they're carpentry, they're cuts, just really sloppy cuts. It's almost like it's just really sloppy. It's almost like this is a little better. But it's just inconsistent. This right here, this will need to be redone because it never went to the end right here. This needs to be redone. All the windows were done, but we're supposed to have new aluminum capping, and that was never done. So I hired someone to do this. I upgraded and bought more expensive material. It was going to be the same price for the labor for the capping or this framing, so I decided to go with this framing. So this needs to be addressed. And then the one thing that makes this not complete, this is the old siding right here. They didn't bother to update the side of the window. This is the old siding, so this is not a complete item. Also, just painting right there. It's not complete up there. And I also wanted to point out that in this process, I had to buy another one of these fixtures to get a new one of these because the electrician that installed this forgot to put this on and threw away the box. So this is just, again, the inconsistencies. This was my attempt to get the electricians focused because they just came and went and I never really saw them consistently work, to just let them know what priorities needed to get done. And and just looking at this, these are still not complete. Other than this, the 3-way switch, hook up all breakers, power outlets. Oh yeah, the breakers aren't even the correct amps. I have a video on that shows, like, you know, they didn't even correctly put the amps to the type of breaker, so it's incorrect. That is also that's also against code. So it's really about all these little things that are making it dangerous to live here, and that's why I am not severing ties, because I already know that I need to redo the things that he's done. So this is the rest